Welcome to Bazzali TV. I'm Davide Bazzali and today I'm gonna show you how to make the lightest gnocchi of your life. Let's go.
Bazzali TV!
Gnocchi are easy. Maybe they are the easiest thing to make, but there is a line between good and excellent. And that line is called experience. And I have a lot of that. I have my mom experience. She taught me a great secret to make the perfect gnocchi. Do you want to know the secret? Please subscribe. It's for a good cause. It's for you learning a great secret. So subscribe. Thank you. As you can see, we only have two main ingredients, potatoes and flour. Then we have salt and pepper. This is gonna be for the base recipe. Well, it's pretty based on as we said, on experience, but there is a proportion that you can use to help yourself. Usually what I do is 1 kilo of potatoes for 300 grams of flour. And one thing that is really important is to use the right potatoes. You want to use a white, the patata chair blanche, the white potatoes, and they need to be old. If you use yellow and new potatoes, it's almost impossible to have a very good result. Now I'm gonna just cut my potatoes in pieces. That. I'm gonna add some salt to the water. So now, while the potatoes are cooking, I'm gonna start the sauce for the gnocchi. For the tomato sauce, we need onion, garlic, peeled Italian tomatoes. I like to add a little bit of heat and fresh basil. So I'm gonna put some oil directly in the pan. I'm gonna start the heat. J'ai acheté naturellement de l'ail du Québec, so buy local. Je vais faire une brunoise avec l'oignon. The garlic, there are many techniques. You see many chefs with different techniques for the garlic. There's the boom, the squish, there is the... What I like to do is I just flip the knife in this way. And then you see, you just turn it around and you have this perfectly cut garlic. So now the oil is hot. I will add the garlic and the onion. I like to add at the beginning a little bit of pepper. This is from my garden of the past year, like that. And some fresh basil. We're gonna add more at the end, but I like to have already a nice flavor at the beginning. And I'm gonna just add the tomatoes like this. And one very important thing, you always clean the can. Not only because you really want to put all the tomatoes in the sauce, but also because that water that you are adding here is needed to cook properly the tomatoes. The most you cook your tomatoes, and the most is gonna produce naturally sugar. It's a fruit, and in that way you don't need to add any sugar to your sauce. The potatoes are cooked, they're perfect, and I'm gonna show you
The secret.
I always like to leave my potatoes for a second, just to leave a little bit of humidity. I'm gonna really tell you this precisely because it's so easy, but it's also very important. It's the secret. So I already put my water to cook the gnocchi after this. We are going to smash the potatoes directly on the board like this. I'm gonna add some salt, some pepper. It's at this point that you can add other spices, you can add herbs or other ingredients if you wanna go a little further with your gnocchi. But today, as we said, we are gonna just to learn the basic. I will just add almost all the flour to the potatoes, and we start to work it gently in this way. You see, you don't want to squish, because if you do that, they're gonna ask you for more flour. And here we are to the secret. Gnocchi, as you can see, are made of two ingredients, potatoes and something else that is hard to digest. Lots of people try to avoid it. It's despicable. It's flour. And for that reason, we just want to add the least quantity of flour in our gnocchi. That's why you should never add to the recipe eggs. There are many recipes that you can find everywhere that just tell you to add 1 egg. Yes, of course, if your potatoes are not the right one, maybe 1 egg is gonna help you to make the mass, the dough, to stick together. Your gnocchi, they're going to become not only very difficult to digest, but they'll also become hard. And if you think that gnocchi are hard, it's because probably you never make it at home for yourself, or you never really had the gnocchi homemade. Now, my dough, it looks really well. Now we are going to make the test that is gonna tell us if we put enough flour in the dough. It's a very easy thing. You just cut them apart, and if you can roll it like this without this little roll to fall apart, that's everything you want. There's nothing else to do. And now, while I make the gnocchi, I'm also gonna sing a song that is gonna bring us even more in the mood of the recipe. You see, today we are going to make the gnocchi alla Sorrentina, and I'm gonna sing a song that talk about the city of Sorrento. In the song, the guy who sings is sad, as always. The loved one left, and during the entire song, he described all the reason why this person should come back. In reality, apparently, it was written for the Presidente del Consiglio that had to go back to Sorrento to rebuild the city. Vide amare quanto è bello, ispira tanto sentimento, come tu a chi tiene a mente, che scetato fai sunna. E guarda qua chi stu giardino, siente si sti sciure arancio, nu profumo a così fino, dinto core se ne va. E tu dici io parto addio, t'allontane da stu core, da sta terra dell'amore. Tiene o core non torna, e ma non me la sa, non darme sto tormento, torna Sorriento, fammi campare. Vide amare de Surriento, che te sceso in cielo un funno che ha girato tutto munno, non l'ha viste come ca. E guarda qua chi ste sirene, che te guardano cantate, e te pare voglian solo dolci cose mormorare. E tu dici, io parto addio, e t'allontani da stu core, da sta terra dell'amore. Tiene o core non torna, ma non me la sa, non darme sto tormento, torna Sorriento, fammi come back to Sorrento to eat the gnocchi. So you see, the time of a little song, we made the gnocchi. Here we have for sure the gnocchi for minimum 4 people. And what I'm gonna do today, seeing that I'm cooking just for 2 for me and Livio, I'm gonna cook now the 2 portions that I need for our recipe, and the rest I'm gonna show you how to preserve it as best. So now the water is boiling. I'm gonna add some salt. You remember, it must be like the water of the sea. And let's cook the gnocchi. We're gonna mix it with a wooden spoon because we don't want to break it. Voila. I'm gonna cook the rest of the gnocchi as I said, because this we're gonna freeze it. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna cut the mozzarella that we need to finish our recipe. Big cubes like this. My gnocchi here are perfect. I'm gonna add a little bit, let's say half of my mozzarella, some Parmigiano, and here I have some cold water where I'm going to immerse my gnocchi that are now perfectly cooked. Je vais les laisser refroidir, devono raffreddare. I'm gonna take my plate for the oven, and in the pan more mozzarella on top, more Parmigiano, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt. My mom said that the oven eats the salt, and she knows everything. A little bit of olive oil on top, and now I'm gonna put it in the oven for 5 minutes under the broil. So now that the gnocchi that we want to freeze are cold, I just put it in a container with a little bit of parchment paper, and I'm just gonna freeze it like this. And after that, I can put it all together in a container, in a little bag, and you can use it in this way when you want. La 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 la. Ecco qua. Gli gnocchi alla sorrentina sono pronti, they are ready, they are perfect. The smell is amazing. I add a little bit of fresh Parmigiano and a little bit of basil if you want, pepper, some oil. They are amazing. Please subscribe, like this video, share it, do what you want, and buon appetito!
Hey, Davide.
Today we are going to see the lightest, un arcobaleno con gli unicorni. Gnocchi. Stop it. It's gonna end one day. Okay. Gnocchi are easy.